Hello, everyone. My name is Cecile Fruman. I'm the Director for Regional Integration in South Asia at the World Bank. And today I'm joining you from Guwahati in Assam in India, where the air quality is at 170 today. And in the past few days, it's been at an average of 260. So I'm here in South Asia breathing the poor air that we're going to be talking about today. So I'd like to welcome you all to our 14th OneSouthAsia Conversation on striving for clean air in South Asia, effective regional responses. This is part of our quarterly series where we discuss and we debate issues related to regional integration and cooperation in South Asia. Our approach at the World Bank has three pillars of focus. The first is on economic connectivity. The second is on reducing vulnerability and building resilience, in particular to climate change. And the last is on human capital. Today's conversation is on an issue that impacts us all here in South Asia, and that is air pollution. And we're very honored that we're conducting today's event in partnership with the Center of Excellence for Research in Climate Change and Air Pollution, CIRCA, at the Indian Institute of Technology in New Delhi. This is our second event on air pollution as part of this series. The first was actually in July 2021. And this is because it is a topic of such high priority for this region. South Asia, as many of us know and may be experiencing, is home to 9 of the world's 10 cities with the worst air pollution. It causes an estimated 2 million premature deaths across the region every year, and it incurs high economic and development costs. This discussion today builds on our latest flagship report called Striving for Clean Air, Air Pollution, and Public Health in South Asia, which was launched last month in December in Kathmandu at a joint event organized by the World Bank and the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, ICIMOD, with participation from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal. These are the 4 countries that share a common airshed that spans the Indo Gangetic Plain. At the workshop, a Kathmandu roadmap was also endorsed, which outlines joint action amongst countries, including sharing knowledge for air quality management. The evidence in the report is clear that air pollution is not restricted by boundaries. More than 50% of the air pollution in major cities in South Asia travels from neighboring states and countries. Cities, states, or provinces, and countries of the Indo Gangetic Plain are connected through a common airshed, and that creates spatial interdependence. As such, countries and states cannot reach the respective air quality targets by themselves, and they are fully dependent upon spillovers from their neighbors. So to put this simply, one state or country could be taking all the right measures, making all the investments, but it would not see the full impacts if their neighbors are not doing the same. So this report presents 4 scenarios, and it shows that the one that relies on cooperative approaches is the most effective, and it results in 45% lower cost as compared to the approaches that have no regional cooperation. Therefore, countries and states can avoid costly interventions in one location if the impact can be achieved by less costly action at another location. What we find is that cooperative approaches also speed up action by firming up expectations about future air quality and reducing uncertainty. So by working together, the countries in the Indo Gangetic Plain can get better results. They can get them quicker, and they can get them cheaper. And this translates into lives saved. These cooperative approaches can save more than 750,000 lives annually. This report also offers a 3-phase roadmap for improved air quality, which includes more and better monitoring, joint targets and action for cost-effective abatement, and mainstreaming air quality in the economy. So today we will be discussing all of this with our eminent panel of policymakers from Bangladesh, India, Nepal, and Pakistan, many of whom were at the Science Policy Workshop in Kathmandu last month, and I had the privilege and honor of meeting them. These are the people who are on the front line of action and are leading the effort in their respective countries. I'd like to first introduce Ms. Roshni Sen. She's the Principal Secretary Environment, Government of West Bengal, India. We are also joined by Dr. Abdul Hamid. He's the Director General of the Department of Environment in Bangladesh. Ms. Samia Salim is the Additional Secretary, Environment Protection Department in Punjab in Pakistan. And last but not least, Mr. Namaraj Gimir is the Director for Environment in Nepal. Thank you all for joining. And before we dive straight into our conversation, I'd like to invite Dr. Rangan Banerjee. He's the Director of the India Institute of Technology, New Delhi, our partner for this event today. And he's going to share with us his thoughts on the role of science, evidence, and technical cooperation to tackle air pollution. Before I turn to him, let me just remind you all that this is hopefully an interactive event. We want to hear from you. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, please send them through email at onesouthAsia@worldbank.org, and we will try to bring in as many of those questions towards the end of our conversation. Without further ado, Rangan, over to you.
So good evening, and it's a great pleasure for our institute, IIT Delhi, to be partnering with World Bank for this initiative. For us, air pollution and air quality improvement is a true interdisciplinary problem, a problem where there are technical solutions, where it is evidence, it is models, it is interventions and policies, and which we have a whole group of faculty members in different departments working on different aspects of this. We are looking at source apportionment, we are looking at models, we are looking at ways in which one can think in terms of interventions. And through our Center of Excellence in Research in Clean Air, we have a number of different research areas where we are working. We also have a lot of work on capacity building and training. And I think one of the things that we need to understand is that in these problems, we don't just say Delhi, we don't just say NCR. We are looking at, when we talk about pollution and when we talk about pollutants, the political boundaries that we mark out, the physical systems do not respect these boundaries. And so when we think in terms of looking at this, it's the airshed, it's the region, there is a mutual benefit if we can understand what is happening, where is the pollution coming from, what happens in terms of airspeed. There are a whole host of things. That's one set of things that we can do. The second set of things is we can look at best practices, whatever we are doing locally. And we can see, because many of the contexts in South Asia are very, very similar. We can also think in terms of pooling resources, in terms of faculty and expertise. And we have the possibility of people coming and spending time at IIT Delhi, and we have mechanisms where masters, PhD students and others can come in. We can have dedicated workshops. So I think it's important for us to understand and map and get evidence and get the science and the knowledge behind it, understand the uncertainties involved, and give clear messages to policymakers saying, what ifs? If we do this, what would happen? What is the effect of construction dust? What is the effect of stubble burning? There are so many different uncertainties, and in all our countries, air quality is an event, is something which is, it's a political issue, it's an issue which is there in the media, but it is an issue where, if you look at the overall system as a society, there are solutions, and there are solutions which can be done with reasonable cost. It is up to us to try and see how we can collaborate, how we can build up the evidence required, and then give the input so that we can actually make a difference in people's lives and make sure that we reduce the health impact and also the loss of the economic loss which is there. So I would just like to say today, on behalf of IIT Delhi, we are very happy to be part of this initiative and this conversation. Our colleague, Professor Sagnik Dey, will be part of this whole workshop. And we look forward to anything that any of you individually, if you feel that we can work together for this, please do reach out and we'll be happy to help with this. This is something where, as academic institutes, we feel that it is our responsibility to see that we really make a difference in the lives of the region. And we are delighted to be here and to also help support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rangan, and we're delighted that you're with us also today. And you made a few really important points that I want to emphasize. The first is that this is an imminently solvable problem. It is man-made and man can solve it. And that's also one of the messages of our report. And that's why looking at different scenarios, we have different outcomes, in the scenario where we have maximum regional cooperation gets us the best results. I think you've also really emphasized the need for evidence, for science, for knowledge sharing and capacity building. And I want to recognize your very generous offer to provide support, to partner. This is certainly an approach, as you said, it's multi-sectoral, and it's going to require all of the actors working together, policymakers, academics, civil society, media. There's institutions like mine. So there's a role for all of us, and I want to thank you for your very generous and kind offer to provide inputs and support. So thank you for that, and thanks for the partnership with IIT, and we're going to now move straight into our conversation. I'm going to first turn to you, Roshni. So we know that India experiences high levels of air pollution, and India has also really been taking action. There's a national government initiative. It's called the National Clean Air Program across 132 cities. There's also the mobilization of $1.6 billion through the 15th Finance Commission, and an effort to align these national initiatives with the states, with the cities, and also cross borders. So my question to you is, what steps are being taken to address air pollution at the state level, and in particular in your state, West Bengal, but also how are you aligning this with other national policies and with countries across the border? Over to you, Roshni.
Right, Cecil. Right. Thank you, Cecil. You have actually set the tone for the discussion. So as you rightly said, India is quite disadvantaged geographically, so far pollution is concerned. But meteorological and geographical factors may not be in our control, but there are a lot of factors, man-made factors, which we can actually address. In fact, that's why the government of India, they took up this massive program, which you mentioned, NCAP, National Clean Air Program, in 2019, with the focus of air quality management in 131 most polluted cities in the country. And the target is to reduce pollution and especially PM 2.5 levels by 20 to 30% by 2024, vis-a-vis 2017. So for that, the monitoring system has been made very strong. So as you rightly said, we need evidence-based policy. And we are setting up continuous air quality monitoring systems in each of these cities. There is a city-level action plan that has been uploaded in a very dynamic portal called Prana, Portal for Regulation of Air Pollution in Non-Attainment Cities. Steps taken include prevention of open biomass burning, use of cleaner fuel, use of solar power, adoption of zigzag technology in the brick kilns. There are a lot of brick kilns in our country. Green belt development in the industries, urban greening, using less polluting fuels in industries, in transport, in household. And our state has taken up each of these initiatives in a big way. Like in our state, we have 79 manual monitoring stations already working. We have 4 more in the pipeline. We have 14 continuous air quality monitoring stations actually working, and 8 are in the pipeline. And we have 150 sensor-based continuous air quality monitoring stations. So we are generating a lot of data every day. And all the data is regularly monitored through a state-of-the-art integrated command and control center. And action is taken based on this real-time data as well as complaints whenever we receive. We also take satellite imaging data to a large extent. And because of our efforts, we have seen results like Kolkata has actually shown a decrease in PM 2.5 level from by 10.71% in 3 years between 2019 and 2022. There's another city called Howrah, which has shown a decline of 15.94% in these 3 years. So actually, we are showing results. Our efforts are actually giving us some sort of, showing us that we're in the right direction. We have also carried out source apportionment studies, and we have found that the main pollutants are road dust, transport exhaust, household activities. So we are addressing these issues, like we are sprinkling, taking up water sprinkling on the roads. We're encouraging electric vehicles, CNG fuel. We are distributing smokeless chullas and gas ovens and cylinders to roadside vendors who cook on the roads. I think we need to actually make the public aware. So we are taking up extensive awareness programs through various media like social media, mobile apps, etc. In India, we have a very big, I would say, celebration called Diwali, where a lot of firecrackers are burnt. So we have developed a very strict policy for bursting of firecrackers, and we have enforced the regulations. So this year we had one of the quietest and cleanest Diwali compared to the previous years. And it has happened because all the stakeholders, the police, the urban local bodies, the general public, the NGOs, all of us together have ensured that we have a much cleaner Diwali in our state. As you have rightly pointed out, we need a very, very cooperative approach, because pollution is not something that is confined to one particular area. After the very, very fruitful meeting in Kathmandu, we have shifted, or we are planning to shift from the city-based approach to the A-shared approach. And there, of course, we need some more guidance. And we have a tremendous scope. For example, in the cities of Durgapur, Raniganj, and Asansol, they're part of the same watershed. And so we may have a very convergent policy in that area. The Kolkata metropolitan area, which has 41 urban local bodies and 23, the village bodies called panchayat samitis, there also we can have an A-shared approach. And I am sure that the data we are getting through all our efforts, that can help us in taking up a very strong evidence-based policy approach and intervention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roshni. And so I'm going to move us west now. We're going to go to Pakistan, to Punjab. And what our report shows is that the two Punjabs are very connected in terms of airshed. About 30% of the air pollution in Punjab state in India comes from the other side of the border, and it's about 18% in the other direction because of the way the wind blows and the airshed is constructed. So that means that the two Punjabs are very much interconnected spatially. So Sami, I'd love to hear from you. What actions are being taken at the provincial level in Punjab, and how does that connect to what's being done in Pakistan? But also, what types of cross-border efforts are taking place, or are you planning for the future? Over to you, Samia.
Thank you so much, Cecil. Well, airsheds do not recognize national boundaries, and referring to the two Punjabs, we have the same sources of air pollution, we have the same seasonal patterns and meteorological conditions, and we affect each other in terms of transboundary pollution. And I think that an airshed level approach to tackling transboundary air pollution, that is the right strategy. Now, I will come to the efforts, some of the efforts that we are making to deal with air pollution at the national level and provincial level. At the national level, we have formulated a Pakistan Clean Air Plan, and it shall be published very soon, and in which all of the stakeholders have been identified, all of the pollution causing sources have been identified, and a good plan has been given to us, and I'm sure that will serve as a good guiding policy document for us. Other than that, there are multilateral agreements, and our policies at the provincial level are aligned with those national objectives. Now, in the province of Punjab, we have taken major legislative and institutional reforms to improve environmental governance. We have EPA, which was established back in 1987. It is continuing to do its regulatory activities. But other than that, we are taking it a step ahead. We have formulated Punjab Clean Air Policy and Action Plan after massive consultations with the stakeholders. We have consulted with the industry, with the civil society, with the relevant departments, and we have given clear-cut and time-bound activities to curtail this issue. Now, we have also formulated Punjab Climate Change Policy, and it is going to be approved very soon. Other than that, with the support of World Bank, we are developing a massive air quality monitoring network with 30 in the initial phase. 30 air quality monitoring stations are going to be installed at 10 different locations in Punjab. We have also undertaken restructuring of the department, and under which we are going to double the number of the employees. Currently, administratively, there is like divisional level, then there is district level, and then there is tehsil level. Currently, we have the EPA has presence only at the district level, but under the restructuring of the department, we are going to have our offices set up at the divisional level as well as tehsil level to regulate the activities and for having better environmental governance. Then we are also developing institutional capacity of the department. We are going to establish 3 new branches and attached bodies. There shall be environmental monitoring center, which shall consolidate the data from water quality monitoring systems, air quality monitoring systems, all these sources, and it will do modeling, and it will provide us the basis for evidence-based policy making. Then there shall be R&D branch that would be Environmental Technology Center, and then Environmental Policy Center. We are also currently in the process of conducting an apportionment study for PM 2.5 concentrations in 6 of our most industrialized and urbanized cities. And that would be a good local study that will supplement and enrich our data set. Then we have also established Environmental Endowment Fund that would be a sustainable funding for our future green projects. Also, currently we have national environmental quality standards, we have provincial environmental quality standards, but now we are going a step ahead. We are also developing industry-specific quality standards. That will definitely improve the governance, and we'll be able to target those industries which are more polluting, and we'll give them specific standards to follow. Obviously, the higher the air pollution is, we have evidence that it causes various diseases, respiratory diseases, heart diseases, etc. So we have also launched health advisory system for critical air pollution events that will inform and give advisories to the public as well as administrators to deal with whatever, whenever these events occur. We have already converted 70% of our brick kilns to zigzag technology. That is a success story. And then we have also, especially during the winter months, we routinely impose ban on pollution causing industry. Also, we are in the process of publishing State of Environment report. It would be first of its kind, and we are in the process of collecting data and compiling it. Now, coming to the other part of your question, I'm really grateful, and I'm glad that World Bank and IC Mode provided us with a platform where all the regional partners could come together, share their challenges, their success stories, their research findings, etc. And also we establish contacts with each other. So we are trying to reach the Indian Punjab government, and we are trying to establish some sort of collaboration with them. Why? Because they are very near to us. Like it's like Indian Punjab is like 60 kilometers from where my office is. And also because we have this transboundary air pollution issue, so we are looking forward to carry it forward and have some sort of boundary visit. We are trying to go and look at their air quality monitoring system, because we are currently in the process of installing. They have already installed. They have like a strong network of 80 air quality monitoring stations across Punjab. So we are trying to arrange this visit if all goes well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Samia. So a lot that's going on in your state and nascent collaboration across the border. So that's wonderful.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go to Dr. Abdul Hamid. So Abdul, if you can tell us a little bit about the experience in Bangladesh. So we know that Bangladesh has introduced the air pollution rules last year, and this is under the Environmental Conservation Act of 1995. So tell us, please, how effective has this been? What has worked? What has not worked so well? And also, if you can speak to those efforts to strengthen cross-sectoral and also cross-border collaboration. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Cecily. Good evening to all of you. Actually, as you have mentioned, that this Bangladesh just introduced a rule, or we call it air pollution control rules 2022. Actually, this is a very new one, which is actually coming from a background of public concerns about the issues of air pollution, which is happening in our capital city and throughout the country as well. Although it is there are some seasonal variations, as we are much more worst in terms of air pollution in the winter compared to the rainy season that is we have also. So the government has decided to enact a actually separated regulatory instrument, that is the Air Pollution Control Rules 2022, which was promulgated just 4 months earlier. This is very new one. Before that one, we have had the issues dealt through our Environmental Protection Act 1995. So this is a very new but very promising rule instrument. If we just consider that it has got some unique features, apart from the different type of controlling measures, there are two issues which are described here. Particularly, I would like to share with you one issue is that there is a provision to declare some area as degraded airshed. And once it is being declared like that, there is a different management criteria that will be in place to address those problems. So this is a new thing which was introduced in this rule. And another one is the air quality management plan. It is a separate plan which will be formulated under this rule to address specifically the air pollution issues. So this is the instrumental issues which are regulatory tools we use to control our air pollution issues. Before that, actually in our country, it is something like that the air pollution things are not that cared of. But I can tell that people are much worried about any other things, diseases, and any other natural calamities which are killing them. But this silent killer, or the killing from the air pollution was not actually scared. So from that particular point of view, we are just developing one rule which will be, I suppose, helpful to address this issue particularly. And nowadays in our country, you know that I am sitting in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, which is frequently ranked at the top in terms of the air pollution issues. So the sources of air pollution here in our country is there are so many, but the intensity actually worsened during the winter season due to the smog and fog and other issues. And another issues which is burning here in our country is the air pollution from the brick manufacturing kilns. So there are some traditional kilns which we are trying to convert them to zigzag and hybrid Hoffman and tunnel system to reduce this emission from the brick fields. So brick fields are rampant here in the country, and the smoking is coming out unabated and affecting the air quality as well. We are in pursuit of actually converting this one, and not only we are doing this one, but we are also encouraging to introduce block, that is concrete block, instead of bricks. That means the construction will be carried out using the concrete block instead of coal-fired or um, or, uh, or or burned bricks made of earth or soil. So that will help in two ways. That will actually, one, it will reduce the emission, and it will also actually reduce the use of topsoil, which is related to the food security of our country in terms of agricultural production. So these are the issues we are working with. Department of Environment is working under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and we have 13 continuous air monitoring stations throughout the country, and 33 actually the monitoring stations, 13 are in Dhaka. And one issue I can tell you that we are actually measuring air quality, PM 2.5 and PM 10, and these are almost exceeding all the areas, and it is actually very challenging for us, especially at this moment, at this time of this season, to reduce the air pollution or to reduce the PMs within the limit we have. But we are actually not sitting idle, as I have learned from my colleagues here, that we are also trying to improve the situation, because these with the introduction of the air pollution control rules 2022, the air pollution issue is being mainstreamed in our country. The ways like this, that we have had the specifically committee which is led by Cabinet Secretary of our country. Cabinet Secretary is the top bureaucrat of our country. So he is actually leading a committee headed by other secretaries, which is a very high-powered committee working centrally to address the issues of air pollution. And this is also coming from the Air Pollution Control Rules 2022. And there are other issues, like we have in our country, we have district system, division system in our administration, different tiers. So we have environmental committees in all the tiers, and where these issues are continuously addressed and taken care of. A number of actions we are taking to reduce the pollutants to spread in the air. That is like something I can share with you, that the construction materials which are actually scattered here and there, and road dust is created from them, we are working on that, and making our enforcement initiatives to cover them up and to wet them so that they will not spread the dust. Even the brooming by the cleaners of our city corporations is planned in a way so that they will not spread too much road dust in the atmosphere. And we are also in the city areas, our city corporations and the municipalities, it is their regular work to spread water on the roads 2 or 3 times one day to reduce the actually to reduce to reduce the dust coming out from the roads. And also in terms of controlling the vehicle emissions, what we're doing, we are doing continuously monitoring our vehicles through our various enforcement and mobile courts like this we used to conduct to contain these issues. So if anyone breaches and if the smoke much more dust, black smokes is coming out of the vehicle, we used to find them, we used to actually contain them and dump them even.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hamid. Thanks a lot. A lot you're doing. I think, as you said, none of you are sitting idle. And I'm also struck by a lot of similar actions in various states and countries, which is good because it's by combining the efforts that will have impact. So we'll turn now to Nepal. And so Namaraj, I'd like to hear also from you. What actions are you taking in your country? What has been your experience? What has been most impactful? And also, again, where do you see the role for regional cooperation? Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, Cecily, and all other distinguished participants. It's me, Namaraj. I am director from Department of Environment. Actually, the pollution control has been come at the very first priority for the government of Nepal. As you might have known that the Constitution of Nepal has put the environmental rights or right to live in the good environment is the fundamental rights. And to implement this fundamental constitutional rights, the government of Nepal has developed a lot of laws, rules, regulations, policies, and the programs that the government annually put forward are basically given the more importance and basic priorities to the environmental protection. Especially the government of Nepal has declared that by 2045, Nepal will be the zero emission country. And for that, the different policy guidelines and programs has been developed, such as pollution control action plan for especially the mega cities like Kathmandu and other cities. Similarly, there are a lot of different standards has been given to different source of pollution. For example, there is a separate standard for the vehicle pollutions and break-ins and boilers and other industries like cement industry and other ones. Then our Environment Protection Act has envisioned one very big and very powerful supreme institutions, that is the Environment Protection Council, which is chaired by our prime ministers and all other ministers and the minister from different provinces, respective ministers and high officials from different sectors of the government are member in this council. And government has also started the environmental protection fund, and this fund will be utilized to improve the environmental standard of the countries. And environmental issue is actually not the domestic or not limited within one political boundaries, as already it is stated by our other participants also. Similarly, Nepal is also facing the environmental problem as a transboundary problem, because especially our neighbor, both China and India are here highly populated and highly industrialized countries, and their pollution, their emission rate is very high compared to our country, Nepal. And the some sort of traditional activities that is carried out, especially in India, that is the our neighboring state of India's, like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and the crop residue burning is being the crucial issues for the air pollution in Tarai region, and it sometimes comes to the upper mountains regions also. And the industrial development in the neighboring states, there's a border state of India, is also causing the high air pollution in our Tarai region, and somehow in mountain regions also. Of course, there are a few domestic pollutants or source of pollutions also, especially for our country or for our cities. The major pollutant or source of pollution is domestic pollutions. That is the pollution coming from the domestic activities, burning the firewood or burning fossil fuels for the cooking purpose and other purpose also. Some are from industrial pollutions, industrial boiler or other industries. Right now, the brick kilns has been changed to zigzag technology, so that the air pollution from brick kilns in Kathmandu, especially in Kathmandu, is decreasing. And another is the brick industries are not operating in their full action due to the high price of coal due to Ukraine war, I think so. But the government has developed a policy to change the source of energy for brick kilns, such as using the bio pellets in the brick kilns. We have tested in some brick industries and found that it would be the very good alternatives for the brick kilns or brick industry to replace the coal as a source of energy in our brick industries. Another is the vehicle pollution is seen the second or sometimes comes as a first pollutant in Kathmandu city, because the number of vehicles is increasing, and the vehicles condition seems not good to control the air pollution, so that Department of Environment has started the cross and sudden monitoring or checking of the emissions or vehicle pollutions in Kathmandu city since December of 2022, and now it is running, and it is doing as a scheduled work. And we have brought a lot of vehicles under the penalties, huge penalties, who are not meeting the emission standards. Another is government has a policy to expedite or to facilitate, to encourage the people to use electric vehicles, so that the government has heavily reduced, almost zero taxes for the import of electric vehicles. And the number of electric vehicles in Kathmandu is now being increased, and you can see a lot of electric vehicles running if you go out in the road in Kathmandu nowadays.
Thank you. Thank you, Namaraj. Thank you. I know there's a lot to cover, but we also want to bring in some audience questions. So with your permission, I'm going to move us along. And in this next round of questions, I'll ask everyone to really try to keep your interventions to a minute or two. And I'd like to hear more about, where do you see the opportunities for regional cooperation? You've spoken a lot about what you're doing. You've spoken about some nascent areas of cooperation, but where do you see that work going forward? And I'm going to start with you, Roshni. You've heard what's going on in Bangladesh. You also cooperate with other states in India. So how's that cooperation going to materialize?
Yes, thank you so much. You have already started something that you are asking through this seminar or that workshop that you did in Kathmandu. So that's have been a very, very important step and an eye-opener also, in fact, for many of us. And yes, I fully agree. Priority in front of us is to forge partnerships, collaborations, cooperations. For that, number one, we need proper source apportionment study done in each and every country and each and every region using the same model, uniform model, so that we can actually clearly know, instead of just saying out of assumption and presumption that our pollution is from stubble burning and our pollution is from India or maybe from Nepal. We must actually do a proper study using uniform model, and then only we can get the clearer picture. And then we can also identify the pollution hotspots, the pollution sources, the pollution causes, and take informed policy decisions. So more of such interactions, regional cooperations, not just through the mediation of World Bank, but also through the initiative of various countries will be extremely fruitful to take forward the partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshni. So how about you, Samya? You've alluded to some areas, but can you maybe describe some small steps and some big leaps for regional cooperation that you would want to emphasize?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I would like that the regional agreement that we signed in Kathmandu, we should take it forward. I want to see it implemented because it has to be approved by respective governments. So I think we should expedite it and we should develop a framework for regional cooperation. Regarding referring back to the two Punjabs, I would say that we need to develop a joint working group because we have a lot to share and a lot of expertise to share, experiences. So I propose that we formulate a joint working group. Under the roadmap for that and the World Bank report that was presented, and under this agreement, we are going to set air quality improvement targets and goals. I think they should be set keeping in view the current level of preparedness of each of the country. So that is important. I would also like that we should have a regional scientific community platform for air quality monitoring experts. We have so many research institutes. We have GCISC in Islamabad, we have IIT, then we have ISA, and then we have ECMOD. So there should be a community, a platform where they come together and they can also act as regional advisory support group. And I would further say that we should also formulate an air quality monitoring communication strategy so that we know that who to talk to, how to take it forward, and who to contact to take it to make this collaboration work. And further, obviously, just like Madam Roshni said, that we should have regular events. They may be quarterly, they may be online, they may be in person, biannual, for sharing of experiences and research findings. And I really love the idea of Madam Roshni that she proposed that we should have apportionment studies done in all of the countries and on the same model so that we have more reliable results. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Both of you, between the two of you, have already set out a very, very ambitious agenda. So what more can you add to that, Abdul? What does Bangladesh propose to do regionally?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm just telling, apart from these two which is actually said by Madam Roshni and Madam Samia, because they took some of my ideas from me. What can I do? So the thing is that actually, I'm just want to say one thing, that is there should be some joint collaborative research on the issues so that we can have a baseline situation, because we are always telling that the transboundary pollution is passing through and the situation is like this and that, but
Okay, back to you, Namaraj. Apologies for the technical difficulty. Back to you.
No worries. It's a very good technological benefits that we are talking from different parts of the world globe. My view to increase the air quality standards throughout the regions is that, as we already agreed, that this is the regional problem, and that's why our intervention should be come regionally, on the regional basis. The individual basis would not be very effective and economic and sufficient, as the resource limit in all our regional member countries is same. That's why it would be good to make one sort of regional fund or regional resource center, so that we can use that resources to tackle the air problem throughout our country. Another is there should be one sort of mechanism that can be used as a knowledge transfer and technology transfer platform throughout the these regions. And another is the people the people who are polluting the air are almost similar in all our regional member countries. That's why we have to think about the life and livelihood of the people who are directly involving in burning the solid waste, especially in the bank of rivers and other slum areas. And another is the awareness program should be done in the regional level, and that program should be developed in the all major languages that is spoken in the regions, and so that these awareness programs or awareness goods and products would be beneficial for the whole region, not only in the particular city or in the particular area. And Nepal, our Department of Environment is very happy to be one part and one component of this regional effort, and we are always very happy and interested and very eager to work at the regional cooperations. Thank you. And World Bank can support for the resource creating platform or resource mobilization mechanisms, so that it can be proportionately distributed to all through the all member states, and the proportionate contribution mechanism would be developed, so that the polluters play principle would be implemented here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Namaraj. So we have one audience question, and I'm going to ask our audience, if you have any other questions, please send them by email. But one question here, which is that there have been efforts in the past, and there's a lot going on as we're hearing. So why have they not been more effective, and what's going to look differently in the future? Why don't we start with you, Samia?
Actually, they didn't work. Obviously, there have been efforts in the past, but they didn't work. And the problem of air pollution, it escalated, and it has become so big that now we are making really concerted efforts to tackle this issue. And the way I've seen in my department as well, at the provincial level, it has become so big that even more resources are being challenged, because all of these air quality abatement, pollution abatement efforts, they are very expensive. They require a lot of funds. And obviously, in a developing country like Pakistan, things have to blow out of proportion for it to get attention. So now it has the attention of the policymakers, it has the attention of the administrators, the government, and we have routine meetings, especially during the winter months and also in the preparatory months with the political government, with the chief secretary, and now we have this regional forum as well. And it has got attention of the all quarters, and now more resources are being channeled into air pollution abatement efforts. This is my view, because earlier this issue was not on the front lines. Smog, which is a seasonal issue, it started to form back in 2016. It was never on the radar before. Now the problem has become so bad, and it is in front of us. It is like striking us hard now. And if we don't do anything to curtail it, it's like a slow moving disaster that we are moving towards. Thank you.
Thanks, Samya. Abdul, would you like to also help respond to that? What has not worked? What will look differently? And then also weave in the regional piece. What will Bangladesh be doing cross-regionally going forward?
Okay.
Thank you. Actually, if I just want to say that the air pollution in our country was not, it was just ignored actually, because as I can tell you that today it is very cloudy and very clumsy and very dizzy. So it is in the headline. Tomorrow it is clear. No one bothers about this one, but the damage already done yesterday. So this is the one issue that is actually deal to it like this in our country. And I have told you that just recently we have introduced one rules which is specifically deals with the air pollution. So this is one issue. And as I have mentioned earlier, that now we are working with the air quality management plan. And once it will be done, there will be some targets, there will be some measurable, quantifiable targets, and we will be working on that one. From that perspective, it will improve, because it is just started here in this territory, in this country. So, and the regional issues, I told you earlier that regional issues, there should be some general consensus that, okay, we all are agreed that there is a transboundary flow of pollutants. And what we have to do? We have to do it in a regional effort. It will be coming like that, as Madam Roshni was telling, that the research would be streamlined, and the procedures and the methodologies, everything will be actually agreed upon by all of us. So that will be helpful, I suppose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have an audience question here, which is about the importance of air pollution monitoring and the fact that it can be expensive and it's not always well funded. And many of you have alluded to the number of air pollution monitoring stations you have, and we know that there are not enough of those. So this particular question is how viable is implementing low-cost sensors? And is this something that the regulation in your country allows? And maybe we can weave in the regional dimension, right? If we're looking to have consistent measures across country, does introducing low-cost sensors add to that, or could it possibly add complexity more than anything? So maybe Roshni, I'll turn to you on that.
Okay, thank you, Cecil. Yes, monitoring is very important, and we shall stand only if we have a strong monitoring system. Then only we can take our policies and decisions in the right direction. Now, it's true, monitoring systems are expensive. If you think about this continuous ambient air quality monitoring systems, they're expensive, but what we have done in our state, we have set up a series of sensor-based air quality monitoring system, which are not that expensive. And we have actually compared, we have actually placed them side by side with some of our actual big manual as well as automatic monitoring systems. And we have found that the difference is around 10 to 20%. Yes, sometimes the calibration poses a point, but that can be corrected. It works. It's actually better than nothing, and it has actually helped us in a big way. This we say from experience. I think it's not just low cost, it's also accurate, as I said, 10 to 20%. It is essential. It is essential to strengthen the monitoring.
Great, thanks, Roshni. Would anyone else like to come in on this particular question? No? All right. So we're coming to the end of our time together, and I'm gonna ask each of you our final question, which is if you had one wish for this year, one thing that you could do differently or you'd like to see done differently to advance this agenda, to move us towards less air pollution and better air quality for all, what would that be? Namaraj, let me start with you.
Thank you, Cecily. Yeah, I already told you before that the regional cooperation and regional investment and regional fund creation would be one solution, so that the program could be brought as a regional basis, not individual basis. And and another is the data management and data of pollutions from different perspectives, different characteristics, attributes should be at hand, so that we can develop the implementable policy, so that the coming year would be one year to create one sort of regional resource pool to use at the regional air pollution improvement. Another is the data management system and sharing system, so that we can share and we can compare the different attributes of pollutions at the regional level. Thank you.
Thank you, Namaraj. So more regional collaboration, better monitoring and sharing of data. That's fabulous. Samya, what's your wish?
Cecile, sorry, I have a list.
A short list.
Yes, a short list. It is a short list. Well, I see that vehicular emissions is one of the biggest contributors to air pollution. And I wish to see the old polluting vehicles discarded in Pakistan. I wish to see improved vehicle inspection and maintenance system. I wish to see upgradation of fuel quality standards. I wish to see incentives for import and purchase of electric vehicles. And lastly, I wish to see Euro 5 emission standards mandated for newly registered vehicles in Pakistan. Thank you.
Right, that's a good wish list. Roshni, what's your wish?
Yeah, actually, Samia has said what I was going to say, but I'll say something more broadly. That is, we should go for an airshed approach rather than city-based approach. And that again points to national and regional corporations. And I would like to see an IGG on this air pollution for the Indo Gangetic Plain and Hindu Kush Himalayas region being set up in future, so that we have a proper UN recognized platform to sit down and discuss our way forward.
So for those who are not familiar, can you tell us what IGG is?
Mental group with
All
these
right.
4 countries.
Wonderful. So a recognized group, an international
Yes.
group. Abdul, what is your wish?
Yeah, my first wish is that this is the meeting where all of we at least agreed on one issue. That is, it is a transboundary issue and it has to be dealt with regionally. So that is one thing we can take home today. And I am very much looking forward to have some plan. If it is very small, but if it is a time bound, if it is a measurable one, so that in the next meeting, when we will be actually joining together in the next time, we can at least say something that this is the improvement we have done in our particular country or in the region as a whole. That is one thing. And again, I would like to stress on the issue of awareness of this about this pollution issue, because air pollution need to be much more need much attention than what it is at this moment. So that is, I wish that if it is being dealt with seriously, as we do for other pollution issues, we can actually improve the situation. I am looking forward very much to the days that we'll be telling that, okay, our this meeting was actually one of the steps or one of the brainchild that will be used to improve the air pollution in the coming days. That is what my very much expectation. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Abdul. So I will try to summarize some of the threads of the conversation. It'll be difficult to do justice to everything, but I think what you've all done very well is to explain this that you're doing, and you're all doing a lot. We've recognized that this is an agenda that a few years are getting a lot of attention. Now there are dedicated national programs, regional, state level or provincial programs, and a lot of activities going on. And I think what you all really pointed to is the need to collaborate. It's well documented in our report, but you've also clearly indicated where you see the opportunities. And that's where I'd like to maybe pick up. And I don't think I have a complete list, but let me try to summarize what I heard. Clearly monitoring of air quality and having, oh, I've been asked to turn my camera on and off. All right, am I back? Good. So adequate air quality monitoring, similar approaches so that then the data can be shared and used in a way that's comparable. Apportionment studies so that we understand clearly where the sources of pollution are coming from. A lot of attention you've given to having working groups across states or across provinces, having a regional platform, even having something that could be of a standard of an IGD and is recognized by the UN. You've also mentioned part of that having regular events where you've come together. I think you've all come out energized from the event in Kathmandu and wanting to learn from each other and wanting to connect with each other. Many have talked about collaborative research, the importance of coming together, evidence-based and working together in that spirit. And then many of you have talked about awareness raising, communication in multiple languages, but also in a way that reaches across states and across countries. So obviously, then there's a lot that can be done at the country level, at the state level, but you've all recognized the importance of this airshed approach. The countries are connected, there's spatial interdependence, and therefore the need to work together. And I don't think that we could have thought of a better group of people to bring together to talk about not only the need to work together, but what you're already doing and what the future brings in terms of greater collaboration to address this problem, which we know is vexing, which affects people's lives, affects livelihoods and the overall productivity and growth prospects of these countries. So with that, I will now close the event by first of all thanking our partner, IIT New Delhi, thanking our wonderful panel, all four of you. Thank you for being with us today and for sharing your ideas and also your enthusiasm. And as I said in my opening remarks, you have a big effort ahead of you. We wish you good luck, and we hope that you will be supporting each other and working very closely across boundaries. And I'd like to thank my wonderful team. There's a lot of work that goes on in the backgrounds to pull these events off. If you have questions that were not addressed in the event, please continue to send them. Someone just sent in one, wanted to know, how do we build the awareness of civil society? So happy to engage with you on that. And just a reminder for everyone, the event has been recorded. It will be streamed. It has been streamed. It will be made available online if you or anyone else would like to go back and look at it. We will also have a page where we will continue to engage. We have a hashtag OneSouthAsia. You can use it to follow us on social media. You can continue to email OneSouthAsia@World Bank. Please visit our website, subscribe to our newsletter, and we look forward to our next OneSouthAsia conversation in about 3 months. With that, thank you very much, and I wish everyone a good rest of your day or evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecil. Thank you so much.